You said something about a shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Read that, because I don't know whether to be super sad about that or happy about it or what. Hear it again. This is crazy.
Your shadow exists because light that traveled 93 million miles unobstructed was deprived of reaching the last few feet thanks to you.
That was 93 million miles?
And then didn't hit the ground.
God, it's a lot of miles for me to drive to work.
The light particles have to hit something eventually, right? So what's the difference between hitting your leg?
I don't know.
What if it hits the earth that's being deprived of going on and reaching something else?
Well, it just seems personal because it hits you, but that's just me. Like we
what
talked
about
about
a building and then it doesn't hit the ground?
I don't know. It's the same thing as, is the bed a shell for a human? Is the bed nothing but a shell for a human? We'll see.
That's Blaine's obsession.
It'll make sense.
It is.
The one and only Ben Shapiro joins us to give us his prediction on the NBA Finals and more. We make our case for why college football is better than the pros, and we'll break down the greatest single-game postseason performance of all time. I'm Jay Crane. It's Crane & Company. Hit that sub button. We're about to ride this thing. The NBA Finals kicks off tonight in what should be a dynamite series between the Warriors and the Celtics. And there are tons of great prop bets, same-game parlays, and long shots. But I have a pick for Finals MVP that may surprise you and will also put a little coin in your pocket. Give me Jaylen Brown to win Finals MVP, which is going off at about plus 1,200 on Barstool Sportsbook right now. And look, picking the MVP may seem obvious to some. Just pick the best player on the team most likely to win. But that's not always the case outside of LeBron. Look, Steph Curry's been to 6 of the last 8 NBA Finals and hasn't won a single MVP Series award yet. The reason, even when the Warriors had Durant, the opposing teams were still focusing on slowing down Steph. They threw more doubles at Curry than the town drunk and were even willing to let Durant be isolated instead of letting them isolate Steph. The result, Kevin Durant has a Finals MVP. The best player typically demands the most focus, and we all know who the Warriors are going to try and pressure the most, Jason Tatum. And Tatum's still going to get his. But don't be surprised when Jaylen Brown has ample opportunities to win off the dribble ISO, finish at the rim, and end up at the free throw line. Brown's also a skilled contested shot maker from the outside. And when he gets cooking, he gets cooking. Now, Brown's last 10 games, he's averaging 26.5 points, 6 boards, and 5 assists. Oh, and in the games where the Celtics played the Warriors this year, that rebound average went up to 8. Would you be crazy picking Steph Curry to win the series MVP? No. But get some bang for your buck. We're about to bring in Ben Shapiro. Real quick, guys. Finals MVP. We talked about this a little bit. Again, why not go outside of the guy that's going to get doubled? They're going to try and put pressure on Steph the way the Celtics are going to try and put pressure, or the way the Warriors are going to try and put pressure on Jason Tatum. Am I crazy thinking that?
No, if we're talking about what's a nice long shot pick to sprinkle a little money on, then I really like that because I think Andrew Wiggins will lock down on Jason Tatum, and I think he will do a good job. But from my point of view, for the Celtics to win, I still think Jason Tatum needs to overcome whoever's on him and needs to play well in the majority of the games, which I think would give him the MVP if Boston were to win the series. It feels like one of those situations where Steph goes and gets his first Finals MVP. You could make the argument he should have won the first year the Warriors won when it was given to Andre Iguodala. He didn't. That's in the past. Durant got 2 of them since then when he was on the Warriors. It just feels like one of those situations where Steph walks away with the MVP.
I feel like they're going to vote for him if it's even close and the Warriors win, but I got the Celtics winning the series, and I look at Jaylen Brown's numbers. I'm very interested in seeing the rebound average go up when they play the Warriors, because again, the Warriors aren't the biggest team, but they beat teams that are bigger than them. The difference to me is the Celtics are big and they can play at a fast pace. They can play bully ball and do those things. So that's what I'm excited to see. Very interested to kind of see that the role players like the Grant Williams being able to step up, put some pressure on the Warriors. But give me Jaylen Brown, Blaine.
I don't think it's a bad bet. I don't think Klay Thompson would be a bad bet.
I don't think so either.
Plus 1,500.
Is he at plus 15?
He's at plus 15.
And Jaylen's at plus 1,200.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Very nice.
I don't think it'd be a bad bet at all. This is the one thing. Well, first of all, the MVP is probably going to go to the team that wins.
Yep.
For sure.
When it comes to the MVP, there's always certain moments in finals that you come back to when you remember those finals. And usually that MVP is that guy who hits those big shots at big moments. I wonder if the Celtics, first of all, Jaylen Brown is a hell of a basketball player. One of the best basketball players in this finals matchup. But will Jaylen Brown be taking the big shots late for the Celtics? You know, stats will be there. Stats will be there, but I do think Boston will want Jason Tatum taking those shots. And I still think if Boston were to win this series, Jason Tatum needs to play like a superstar game in and game out to win this series. I have it going to Steph. He hasn't got one yet. It's almost like the writing's on the wall, but I feel like Jaylen Brown will play good in this series, but I do think it'll come down to big shots late, and I think the Celtics want Jason Tatum to be that guy taking them.
Well, you about ready to get Ben Shapiro?
We do know that Marcus Smart will take that last shot. Was that against Milwaukee in that series when he took the last two shots?
And Jimmy Butler.
Well, Jimmy Butler, I understand a lot more than Marcus Smart.
Jimmy Butler makes sense.
Well, the shot was questionable.
He's probably still having to go to the chiropractor after putting that team on his back there at the end. But
if he hits it, he's a legend.
That's true. We have our finals MVP. Let's get Ben Shapiro, part 1 of our interview with Ben. The second one is going to be a Saturday special, so stay tuned for that. Ben Shapiro, one of the best of all time. Let's roll it. All right, everybody, as promised, Ben Shapiro joining us for today's show. Ben, number one, I appreciate you coming on, my friend. We've got a bunch of questions we've wanted to ask you. I want to really, put on the scuba skier, dive down there and get some answers.
All righty, let's do this thing.
Let's do it. We're going to jump right into it. I love it. I want to start with the NBA Finals. Now, I know you were able to go and watch a certain Game 7. And look, the NBA, there's a lot of things off the court we can say that they've done over the past couple years. But this Finals matchups, I've got the Celtics riding hard with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus, I'm too smart, Al, I'm not a Horford, the whole team. I'm feeling good about the physicality and the length. How do you feel about the series?
So I was at Game 7 with the Heat, and it is clear that the Heat were just outmanned. I mean, they were clearly outmanned. But as a Celtics fan, right, I'm a lifelong Celtics fan. Mm-hmm. As a Celtics fan, this team makes me so nervous. I mean, it's just a gut check every single game. They should have taken Game 6. They should have taken Game 7 in quarter 2, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the first quarter, they were blowing the Heat out of the building. Kyle Lowry had nothing. The only player on the Heat who was doing anything was Jimmy Butler. So it was basically Jimmy Butler, Bam, had a pretty good second half, but it was free throws keeping them in the game. But the Celtics just could not put it away, and that scares the living hell out of me, because the problem is that if you can't put a team away, and particularly the Warriors, who can put up a lot of points really quickly, a 13-point lead disappeared for the Celtics in the course of 2.5 minutes in the last part of Game 7. It was really gut-wrenching. And it was funny. I was watching all Miami fans leave with 3 minutes left in the game, and the Celtics up 13. And I thought to myself, this is not a smart move by you guys. You guys should stick around for the end of this, because the Celtics are like they're basically I haven't seen a team hang on and then just go to the finals and win. Like I think it's a rarity. Usually, it seems like the teams that are. I mean, they beat the Nets, fine. And then they barely hung on against the Bucks, missing Middleton. And they barely hung on against the Heat, who were really crippled. And now they're going into the finals against a pretty healthy Warriors team that just blew everybody out. So, the Warriors haven't seen any physical defense. I mean, they ran through the playoffs. They really had nothing. It lined up perfectly for them.
Yep.
So I think that the case for the Celtics is that they're tough. They have heart. They have been able to gut those things out. But they are such a nerve-wracking team. I mean, it is Marcus Smart. The whole team is kind of Marcus Smart. It's like you're either hitting threes or you're chucking up things from 75 feet down the court because, hey, you're Marcus Smart. Yeah. Like, it's Marcus Smart time. Marcus Smart. Like,
that's my thing, too. And you bring up being able to close out games. What the Warriors have been able to do in the third quarter, if they get up on you in the third quarter, the Warriors have been finishing people. And that experience late in games when you're down, even in the finals. And I know the Celtics have lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, haven't been there till now. And I love the hunger, and I'm still picking them. But that third quarter does kind of worry me.
The thing that worries me about the Celtics most is probably Jason Tatum and consistency. You play against this Warriors team, they're a lot better shooting team than the Heat. Let's not get this wrong. Heat is a phenomenal defensive team. That's the reason they're the number 1 seed.
Sure.
They're a phenomenal defensive team. They were banged up, and the Celtics were banged up too. Are you healthy enough to run a full 7-game series versus the Warriors? Because the Warriors right now are healthy. And I know this is a different Warriors team. I know there's no KD, but it's still the guys, right? It's still the guys. And it's funny to look at both these teams, and you can see how the NBA is trending to teams that are built and not bought. I mean, look at the Grizzlies. I mean, look at the Bucks. That's what it's turning into.
Yeah.
I go back to what Ben says. The one thing that scares me about the Celtics is they give up big leads. I almost don't believe in leads in the NBA anymore. I've seen 20-point leads go away like this. But there is one team I do believe in finishing games and finishing series when all your chips are in, and that's Steph Curry, that's Draymond Green, Klay Thompson.
Well, the Celtics figured out a way to contain Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Jimmy Butler. And defense does travel in the NBA. But my thing is they're going to be able to – I felt a lot better about the Celtics going into the Eastern Conference Finals than coming out. And the Warriors are going to put Andrew Wiggins on Jason Tatum. Okay, I think that's a huge move for them. And you combine the fact that Steph Curry has never won a Finals MVP, which I think he will win one before his time is done. I think that it's a recipe for the Warriors to win another championship.
I mean, I look at the Celtics, and what I saw is they're one shooter short.
Yeah.
Right? They have 3 guys who can shoot the ball, and one of them in Smart is really inconsistent. Brown's a good shooter, and Tatum's a good shooter, but Horford was, if he's your 4th offensive option, you got a real problem on him.
Sure.
He can't be your 4th offensive option, and he's playing out of his mind. I mean, it's inspiring to watch the guy as an old man myself now, by sports terms. It's good to see a guy who's like 2 years younger than I am, and he's still playing. He's playing well, but you can't count on who's their number 4 option.
Grant Williams has to ball. That's the thing that does worry me, Ben. If we're saying Grant Williams has to ball every game, that worries me a little bit. But the rebounding and
Derek White, maybe. I mean,
but Robert Williams down low. I mean, can he dominate enough?
Robert Williams looked awful in Game 7.
He did.
He was so bad they had to pull him.
He's not offense. He's not going to score you boards and be the reason you're offensive. Peyton Pritchard comes off the bench and does hit big shots at certain times.
One more point on Al Horford, though. His leadership and his maturity will be huge when you're going up against someone like Draymond Green, who just wants to poke at you and try and get you into technical foul trouble. I think that Al Horford could be one of the major reasons that Boston is able to pull out this series if they can.
Yeah. The one other thing I would say about Boston is they're a solid road team.
Yeah.
I mean, they won a bunch of games in Miami during this last series. They won some games in Milwaukee. So, they don't. The home court doesn't seem to matter very much to them. And maybe that's because they're a good defensive team. But the fact that they, as you say, do travel well, I think it's good. If I had to pick it right now, I'd say Warriors in 6.
Really?
That's where I'd be.
That means they'd be winning in Boston. Game 6, and not even come back.
You'd still win early.
Not be surprised.
I do think, and Blaine made a really good point on the show yesterday, how these games are officiated is going to have a huge impact. Because if they let them get away with a lot, that helps the Celtics. Whether it's coming off screens, trying to slow Clay and Steph down, coming off screens is going to be key. You're never going to stop them. You can only hope to contain them. It's the Tupperware method.
Keep them off the free throw line.
Yes.
If you're the Celtics,
Very
keep them
true.
off. They are.
Yeah, it's a real problem. I mean, the refereeing was so inconsistent in that Game 7 that I was at. I mean, in the first half, the Celtics had 17 fouls called on them. They were in the penalty 2 minutes into the second quarter.
Yeah.
And so they got all these free. Like, if the refs decide to call it the way the NBA likes to call games that involve the Warriors, which is that every ticky-tack foul is a foul against the Warriors, and they're going to shoot 1 million free throws because you want to let Steph run around on the fringe and you want to let him heave up 30-footers, and that's good to watch, then it's going to be an ugly series for the Celtics. If they let the Celtics, play it out and let some fouls occur and it turns into a war between Horford and Draymond, for example, that definitely benefits the Celtics.
I cannot agree more. Do you have a prediction, Finals MVP? If you're going Warriors in 6, I'm guessing you're probably picking a guy to win MVP from the Warriors.
Right? I'd have to say it's going to be Steph, just because, not even if he's the second best guy, like who's going to vote for not
That's
him,
true.
right? I mean, like
That's true.
It's the old man time kind of thing. Like he's getting up there now, and he's going to get the tribute awards, and so I think that's the. If I had to put money on it, that's where I'd be putting.
And he doesn't have one.
So,
they're going to give him one.
That's true. I do want to switch gears. I've been really excited to ask you this question. We come from the state of Alabama, college football through and through. We've seen a huge shift in not just college football, but college athletics with name, image, and likeness. What is I don't want to get down too far into the nitty gritty on it because it can go 30 different ways, but just your overarching thoughts on NIL in general. Should college athletes on scholarship be paid for their name, image, and likeness?
100% they should.
I agree.
Yes. I mean, because these schools are basically using them in order to fundraise. I mean, it's not like the school doesn't get anything out of this. The school makes millions more dollars off of these players than they're making than they're giving up in the scholarships. I mean, that ain't where the money's coming from. So the fact that they're able to, I mean, the NCAA is a cartel.
For sure.
And the fact that the NCAA is able to monopolize the image of people and then use that to make money for themselves and not pay the person is totally insane. I mean, there's no other area of American life where you would do anything remotely like that. And I'm sorry, but a scholarship for what? What's tuition at Alabama?
I mean, you're looking at it's $180,000. It comes out 180 to 200 overall throughout
over 4 years.
Yeah.
But you ain't playing 4 years.
And you're making way more than that on the back end if you're somebody that didn't get in on it.
I mean, so really, they're not coming out of pocket for the entire scholarship in all likelihood, because these guys, if you're good enough that your NIL matters, then you're probably coming out 2 years in,
True.
a year in. So that means that the college is giving up 40, 50 grand. And in return, they're getting back hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars off your image and likeness. That's insane. Of course, they should be compensated for this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I've said for the last decade is we have to separate name, image, and likeness from pay for play. And it seems like that is possible in theory, but the last year has proven that that's impossible in practice because teams are just saying, hey, commit to our school, you'll get $1 million over the next 4 years in quote unquote NIL. So should we just move to a straight pay for play in college football?
Yes.
And should universities then still receive public funding? That seems to be an aspect of this that's interesting because if this were just a semi-pro league, yeah, you'd be paying them anyway, kind of like minor league baseball. It's the fact that these universities are, publicly funded that I think really throws a wrench into this.
I mean, but what you can say is that they're using it as a fundraising tool and that these are net profitable. So if you paid players just directly to come into college, and then you say that you're using that. I mean, the universities do that all the time. They pay for events, and then they use the events in order to fundraise. I mean, they're paying contractors in order to do those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. And let's be real about this. The vast majority of top-notch athletes who are going to major universities are not going there to major in engineering and then go on to work at Amgen. That's not what they're there for. I mean, they're mainly there to play at the top level in order so that they can get a look taken at them by various leagues. There's some of them who are generally not the major scholarship athletes, the guys who are walk-ons or the guys who aren't given a scholarship, or those guys who may not go on to a pro career. And for them, you can make the case that perhaps name, image, and likeness, but those guys aren't going to be given money for name, image, and likeness anyway because they're kind of second tier. So
and again, we all agree we like the concept of name, image, and likeness. Mm-hmm. Again, how can I sit on here and complain about name, image, and likeness for the starting corner in Alabama and then try and sell you a T-shirt with my face on it? I understand the hypocrisy in that, but I can like the theory and the concept of something and not like the way it was rolled out. The way it was rolled out is the biggest problem. You have no guardrails. You basically threw it out. Because remember, before COVID, the Ed O'Bannon thing was hot. We talked about NIL, name, image, and likeness. This thing's coming down the pipe. We were debating on different ways to do it. Then COVID hit. We had that whole situation. Then the transfer portal rules got made where you have the 1-year transfer portal. You can go from one school to the school right down the street at the same level and didn't really realize how NIL was going to affect that. Then you see it with Jordan Addison going to USC after leaving Pittsburgh. Now Pittsburgh and that whole organization is a little bit screwed over. But the way they rolled it out, they just said, here it is. We're going to do this in the transfer portal at the same time, turn it into the Wild Wild West. And now that you let that out of the box, you cannot put it back in the box. The only way you can regulate it is federally. And if they try and do that, you talk about the Johnny Depp trial, there'll be more antitrust lawsuits than you talk about billable hours, there'll be more bills than there's been bills in the White House than you're going to see.
I agree with that. I agree with that. One follow-up on pay for play is if a player is paid to come to a university and then underperforms, or like in my case, a new coach comes in who runs a completely different system, are those players then able to be fired if they were paid to come into that school? Because what's the point when they're employees?
I mean, I think the answer is probably yes, but you could theoretically make it so that the players are guaranteed their money, right? I mean, you do have guaranteed contracts. So the essential idea is that when you're signed on, we do care about your education, and so you're guaranteed, say, a certain amount of money plus the 4-year cost of the education.
Okay, I see.
Right, so you're guaranteed the education. You're not guaranteed like the amount of money. Let's say you sign somebody to a $2 million contract. So they're a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, and so you send them to a $2 million contract, and then a year in they suck. So you can cut them and kill the contract, but you still have to pay out their education.
Yeah. Sure. Like just don't count against the 85.
What does Major League Baseball do? What is it? They draft you and then say, you know what, if it doesn't work out, we're going to pay for your school. We have this money set aside to pay for your school. So again, there are possibilities when you just roll it out and throw it out there in the middle of the street like red meat into the jungle. Don't be surprised when the lions and tigers and bears, oh my, come ripping it up right in front of everybody's face. I do want to segue. Speaking of Major League Baseball, you think we do this for a living. That's a pretty good segue. I do have to tell you something. It is my goal in this life to turn Ben Shapiro into a college football fan. Die hard. What are the odds just off the rip, Ben? Honesty hour, this is the trust tree.
Yeah.
You're in it. Waitress at Applebee's, whole situation. It's the trust tree.
Trust tree.
All right, you're in it. So what are the chances I could get you to become a big-time college football fan, and we may have to kidnap you and take you to the Iron Bowl? But I know there's a lot of security, but we'll see if it works.
So honestly, there are a couple of major obstacles. Obstacle number one is that all the games take place on Saturday. This screws me, right? I can't watch TV on Saturday. So between Friday night and Saturday night, this is a serious problem.
What if it's not TV? What if you're at the game? Is that, I don't know.
At the game, it still can be a problem. Like so that's really a major obstacle. The other obstacle is that I'm not aware that I like college athletics at like even college basketball, which in many ways, I always feel like I'm watching the guys who are just getting recruited for the better league. Yeah. It's like watching AAA baseball.
It's not wrong.
March Madness, at least.
I mean, March Madness is just fun because everybody is more of as a social trend. Like, okay, I don't follow it closely enough to even know what I'm doing when I fill out my bracket. So I just pick a bunch of ones.
Hey, that's why you watch our show.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, you guys, how'd you guys do on your brackets?
Well, basketball.
Well, here's the thing. We think
basketball's tricky, Ben.
Well, the problem is, Ben, it's not about what you
Now that I say that,
in March Madness, the bracket's not about what you know. We had Meredith Bussin come in here and to pick her 4 teams with Colgate and whatever. She has as good a chance as anybody because the person who wins the bracket challenge is the person that picks teams based on mascots. And their aunt that lives there. And the one girl that got married a couple weeks ago, they visited Baylor one time. So that's just
I knew after St. Peter's beat Kentucky, I almost stopped looking at my bracket.
Yeah, that hurt a lot of people. You weren't the only one in that boat. Well, that's why I keep saying, Ukraine's pulling to St. Peter's right now, but we're not going to get into that.
They are.
But Ben, again, those are big obstacles. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. First one's really big.
Tough.
I'm either going to have a time machine or a shaman.
We'll figure out a way.
To figure that out, but we'll
figure out a way.
We will somehow find out a way.
Make the case for me that college football is better than NFL football.
Okay, I want to say this first. I think a lot of it depends on where you're from. Just like anything, just like a lot of views that you have, you are shaped by where you're from, what you're around, and what you can see. That's not finally what you think, but it shapes you. Being from the state of Alabama, there was no pro football team, no pro basketball team, and I still believe, though, even if I went from Alabama, it's total hypothetical, but who cares? I feel like college sports, I know NIL's got added. That's the biggest worry about people with NIL is that it's going to start turning the college sport. And there's that local feel that's left. Mm-hmm. There's still somewhat of that local feel, that waking up in the morning, coming outside. When I was growing up in Auburn, and I could hear the band playing at Jordan Hare. Yep. There's some local feeling about college that it's more connected. You look at some of the cities these schools are in. It's not Buffalo. Mm-hmm. It's not Cincinnati. It's not Los Angeles. It's Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Yeah. It's Athens, Georgia. That's where we get our love from. Without that, what would we do? I'm a firm believer, and if the Germans had our type football in the 40s, this has never been a problem. But that's a story for another day. I really feel that the local feel in college, in general, not just in football, but again, that's the difference for me, and that's where I'm from. If I was born in Atlanta, it may be a little bit different. What I love to see is the cities where it's mixed. New Orleans, for example. Yeah. All those LSU fans and Saints fans. And if you look at the Saints and LSU, they're basically one. Yeah, they're the same fan base. But that's the local feel to me, what's left. That's why I wish they'd have put guardrails on NIL and not just, Will Smith from Wild Wild West. Yeah. And we all know about Mr.
It felt so pure, now it's tainted.
I'm glad you hit on the band, though, because the band, that sound permeates through the campus, through the entire campus. And then you have that, and then the student section. Those are two things that just NFL game
doesn't have. This is a solid case. I mean, it's a solid case not for watching the sport, but it's a solid case for the sport. That's exactly. The sport being like an integral part of the community life. So I like the conservative case that you're making for the small platoons.
There you go.
Forced by a community.
That's exactly. It's the local. It's the more, not militia of sports, I guess you could say, but it's the local feel. And again, the cities thrive and they live off it. They survive off of it. If Auburn didn't have football, that city look a whole hell of a lot different than it did right now. So again, I think that's a little bit of difference, but give me some time. I'll hatch a plan. We'll somehow figure this out. Could he be a big Mac guy? Maction during the week?
Thursdays,
Tuesdays, Wednesdays. If we turn Ben Shapiro into a fan
Mac's
of the Mac,
not going to win him
anything can happen.
The Mac's not going to win him.
Kevin Garnett said anything.
I don't like our odds on this one.
But you know
what? Well, I don't need your negativity.
Well, I mean, he's going to be a Mac guy. He's going to be a Mac guy. No, he's not. He's not. If anything, it's got to be a big SEC.
Okay.
That's how he's going to fall in love with it. I mean,
okay.
You'll fall in love with college football.
Well, you know what? How about you just keep being negative? I'll keep being positive, and we'll just see.
Let's be a realist.
But as usual, it's always great to talk to you.
Good to see you.
Friend. All right, we'll see it. Great stuff there, obviously, from Ben Shapiro. I was surprised on his NIL take a little bit.
I was.
That one surprised me a little bit, but no, we got part 2 coming Saturday. We talk automated strike zone, robot umpires, all that stuff. You need to make sure and check that out. So shout out to Ben for coming on the show. Blaine, Booster Club, how are they feeling about it?
They're liking it. A couple of questions here. Well, first thing, Smokey the Vol, good to see you back in the chats.
Your voice sounds deeper today.
Does it?
A little bit, actually.
Yeah, are you all right?
I'm good.
You trying to prove something, or did you?
I'm not. If I was trying to prove something,
what's the Booster Club say?
Smokey the Ball says, I like college football more because the atmosphere is a million times better than the NFL.
I again agree. The band situation, it's a big deal.
In the student section,
it's a big deal.
Can't compete.
I love football in general. Love NFL football. but college is just a little bit better. Booster Club, you like college or NFL? If you're not watching this live, put in the comments, are you college football? Are you NFL? Are you 100% both? I've never met 100% equal or 50% equaling 100% college football and NFL. Blaine, what else from the Club de la
Tempo wants me to say, don't hate on Mac Nation. I'm not hating on the Mac. In that interview, I wasn't hating on the Mac. But
we don't want to hate on Mac.
When you go to a guy like that who said never be a college football game, it's not like, hey, what
if we started
to
in
watch
small?
a Mac game?
Yeah, that's the
Kent
thing.
State,
we weren't trying to hate on the Mac. It was
No.
just, is that what's going to win Ben Shapiro over to being a diehard college football
not.
fan? I didn't see it happening.
Well, I just don't. Do you just go ahead and give them the whole experience like at once?
Yeah.
Do you throw them to the fire? Is that what you do? Rookie quarterback, you're starting. Let's figure it out. Here it is. Welcome to Baton Rouge. Uh-oh.
I still want to do a segment where we draw up plays with Ben as an offensive coordinator, and what would they be called?
Oh,
We're going to do that.
That'd be phenomenal.
You'd have a ton of different ones. What else, B?
Jay Bastion, 20164 says you got to get him to an Iron Bowl game.
That's what we tried to say, but if Saturday's a no-go, then it's a no-go. I don't know how to get around that. Like I said, I need a time machine to get around that, and I don't know where to get one of those.
I heard they might start playing the Iron Bowl on Friday nights.
That would never happen ever. That would never happen. You know what? I don't even like when you say that.
A Wednesday night 7 p.m. kick.
I don't even like when you say things like that because it just throws it off. It makes me feel weird. We already moved when Auburn plays Georgia. It just feels interesting.
Colleen Houston says, totally agree with David, and NIL and pay for play throws a wrench into the schools that get public funding.
Yeah, well, it was more of a question to him. I liked his. That was what I was most surprised with of everything that we sat down and talked to him about. But I started thinking about it last night after we talked to him. I was like, we could move to a pay-for-play system, I guess, as long as a few of the things are taken care of. Like he's saying, you can continue to get your education at that school. You guys were coaches. We say it all the time. When you commit to a school, it's a 40-year decision, not a 4-year decision. So if a new coach comes in and runs a different system, or you have an injury. You have a career injury in college, which happens all the time. You shouldn't then be able to be fired, to me, and treated like an employee. That's what the professional level is for.
Yeah. Well, again, the dichotomy of professional and amateur, that's really the whole argument. And I think as college football fans in general, or people that grew up leaning more toward college football than the NFL, seeing that go away is the biggest worry you have for college football. But there is a balance in there somewhere. But it goes back to what I was saying about I can like the concept and not like the way it was rolled out. I can like the concept of y'all making a new Batman movie, but I cannot like the way it's rolled out. And I didn't. So there's another great example.
You didn't like the guy from Twilight in there?
No.
Just this.
No, didn't like him.
What's this you and the voice thing? Are you okay?
No, I'm good now.
Okay. All right. Tempo. I like this. If Ben was an offensive coordinator, okay, he said there'd be no delay of games and a no-huddle offense. Does Ben run an up-tempo?
He's running an up-tempo offense. I think you're going to see balance. I think Ben would run up-tempo offense. I think you'd get trick plays early.
Yeah.
I think you'd get a really diverse array of trick plays.
Be fast, up-tempo with an occasional Birch Gold ad thrown in there just to
There you go.
Get things. Express
There you go.
VPN. Express VPN, blah, 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 touchdown.
Yeah.
You don't even know what happened.
Yeah, he's talking about the dialing up truth bombs.
You don't even know what happened.
You have no idea what happened.
Sister Riggs says, so would you guys rather sit in the student section or with the college alumni at a game? Student section.
Student section. Not even close.
For sure.
Student section.
I know where you're
Maybe in the box.
I know where
actually.
you're
Maybe in the box.
We know where Cone
Let's go in the box. Is there a buffet?
Cone's in the box
Is
with
there a
like some
buffet?
caviar and like a nice brandy or something.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, the tight end's really underperforming in the run game.
Man, for the first time in my life, I visualized myself as being extremely pretentious based off that comment.
Well, no, we're just saying, Squirtle guy.
Squirtle guy.
Squirtle guy.
Is there a buffet in the box or not? That's what we need to get to.
That makes a difference.
That does make a difference.
Okay.
And a lot of times there is a buffet
Buffet in bathrooms?
Yeah,
Buffet in
there's a
bathrooms?
buffet available.
Buffet in bathrooms.
If you have a personal bathroom you can go to in the game where you don't have to go with everybody else, because, again, let's not act like the stadiums have the cleanest bathrooms. It looks like a third world country in there.
No, but Buc-ee's?
And not the good ones.
Buc-ee's.
Oh, Buc-ee's, that's different.
Man.
That's a planet in its own.
That is a planet.
Riot High says college is just better. Do they have the skill level of the NFL? No.
It's not all about skill.
But their pride is in their school.
There you go.
That's true until they transfer to the school in the same division to go play the same position. And
Don't
beat
worry,
that
they're
school.
ruining it as quick as they can.
They are, literally as quick as they can. All right, Blaine, one more. We're going to get to break.
One more. I want to make sure to get it right if we're only doing one more.
Yeah.
First of all, I like the chat. In situations like that, I get to be in the chat and interact with them. The chat is chopping their feet today.
They are.
I like it.
Again, yeah, Ben brings the juice.
Okay, Colin Houston. All right. Personally prefer the NFL to college football. I don't enjoy watching college games other than the Notre Dame games.
Okay, tell us where you're from. You can just tell us where you're from. Obviously, don't give us your address. I guarantee you grew up in a place that was probably more pro-oriented than college was. But if you want to watch or listen to the rest of the show, head over to dailywire.com, YouTube chat, stay hot, become a member, listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with everybody you've ever met in your life. We'll be right back. Stay there with us. All right, everybody, appreciate y'all coming back with us. We're going to hop right into a little rapid fire after Shapiro joined us earlier. Let's get it going. Let me hear the noise.
Where's my sound? Where's my sound?
Hey, nothing today?
Nothing today. I'll make those.
That better not happen on a Flaming Dragon Friday day.
Yeah, this whole place is ashes.
Then it's
if that
over
happens.
with.
Glad we tested that before.
This
tomorrow.
whole place
We
is
need to talk.
ashes.
Yeah, we got to get the boys in here.
Let's get into it.
You know what? Aaron Rodgers sank a big putt yesterday when he was on Team Brady to beat Mahomes and Josh Allen in the match. We have some clips here. Who do you think we should play in our match?
Listen, I put out something on social media today. Barstool, Big Cat, get your best 4. Mincy, you guys get together. I don't know if it's Brandon Walker. I don't know who it is.
The Bussin' crew.
I know y'all got a whole Taylor, all you guys. Your 4 best golfers. Us 3. We already got a 4th. Cercio, for sure. We already got a 4th. You guys name the place. Let's rock and roll. Y'all just let us know. Big Cat, we'll go against anybody. I don't care. Bring ESPN on. Bring Fox on. Bring Barstool on. Our boy Josh Pate.
I just want to play 18 holes of golf with Charles Barkley and just laugh the entire time.
Well, I want Charles Barkley to be the announcer.
Y'all see where he said he was going to jump in the pond of the golf tournament if Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes made that last putt? It's like a 40 footer. Josh Allen missed it.
Was that close? Well, here's what Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Josh gets that close a lot. Let's go ahead and run the clip. Yeah, let's go and run the clip. Aaron's just pure.
Oh, so pure.
What else would you
not
think?
I think this was the first hole.
I mean, you can just see the purity.
Look at this,
Aaron's
spinning right back.
Again, guys, they're quarterbacks in the NFL.
Somebody's close.
Yeah, they're quarterbacks in the NFL. Aaron's going to step up there and just tell you a story about the time he ended it on the putt. Not shocked, though. Everybody knew Aaron and Tom was going to win. I mean, look, Josh and Patrick, they put up a good fight. I think Aaron and Tom are going off at minus 190. I'm making that putt. Y'all have seen it.
Was that the...
Y'all have seen it.
Yeah.
I'm making that putt. Now, did they play a scramble or was it straight up?
Yeah, no, I think it was a scramble. They were both putting from there.
You love to see it. You love to see it. But no, again, we'll take on anybody. I don't care. We'll go play the Live Tournament Invitational. I don't care. I'll go to Saudi Arabia.
You gonna play the Live?
London. I'll do it. Put him in the ring. I'll fight him. We'll figure it out.
I thought we did all right at Pollock's event.
We did, man. We did.
You know?
There could have been some places we were better, but
I thought we did better than I thought we would.
yeah.
I thought we played a lot worse.
Your boy, Drew Timme, is coming back to Gonzaga. Tell me your thoughts. Because they're going to win it all this year, Jake.
Champions.
Jake.
Here we go again. Now look, they're going to have a good team. Strother's coming back, who's a good player. Drew, obviously, we know he's come back for his 32nd year of
it's time.
NCAA basketball for
Will
Gonzaga.
not take-
It's going to be hard for me to believe, but I got to see it first. This is my point. I'm not a Gonzaga hater. I have to watch their team. I picked them to make it to the national championship game a couple years ago, and they did and lost to Baylor.
Yep.
I picked them not to make it last year based on that team. I have not seen the landscape of college basketball yet for next year. I have not seen Gonzaga's team. They got Bolton coming back, I believe, as well, with Strother and Timme. We know how they recruit. I know Chet's gone, but, I mean, let's be realistic. I've got to see it. I'm not going to say anything until I see it. I'm not that type of person.
What is that exhale over there? You know the Drew man's coming back?
Yeah.
I will not take
dominate.
Drew Timme slander in here.
I'm not slandering Drew
I know you're
Timme.
not, but I will not take. He is a unicorn that we don't get to see much often.
What do you mean? We've seen him for 30 years.
I'm saying other than Drew Timme.
He's played every year.
He can
for
play
the last 9 years.
Drew can play as long as he wants.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I will not hate on a man who wears a headband's got a stash and high socks.
The headband
and he's out
and
there
the stash
fun. He's the guy at the Y, and he's achieving it in college basketball.
High
I will not
socks.
take slander
Yep.
of Drew Timme, a.k.a. whatever Will Ferrell's name was off.
Jackie Moon.
Jackie
I'm just telling you guys, straight up, I have got to see it first. I'm not going to prejudge Gonzaga. I've got to see what type of team they are, how physical they are. That was my problem with them last year. I didn't think they were overtly physical, and that's what happened when they got in a fist fight with Arkansas. Arkansas just kept throwing body blows. They kept punching, and finally caught them with their hands down and knocked them out. That's what happened.
All right.
That's the story.
Mike Trout is catching a lot of heat for the way he was the commissioner of a fantasy football league that involved Jock Peterson. What I want to know is, would you guys join a fantasy football league with Mike Trout as commissioner?
I would. I'd win it.
Yeah, because that means I was friends with Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, and anybody who's ever played fantasy football, you know how competitive it can be, especially when it's you and your boys. It can get real personal real quick. Tommy Pham slapped Jock Peterson in the face before a game due to what happened in this league.
It matters that much, Dave.
It matters that much.
That you're going and slapping a man before a game?
I'm in leagues that there's no light insults getting thrown out. We're trying to cut deep.
Yeah.
Like deep. If we lose over something fluke, like Austin Eckler catching 5 passes out of the backfield for 3 yards in a PPR league, and it matters, a game that matters, it's gotten to fighting words. I'll beat
fighting
your ass.
words is different than slapping.
But we're not
another
together
pro
at the
athlete
time.
But
before a game,
it matters. How competitive are you?
Now that Mike Trout and them are actually going to be able to probably make the playoffs and have a chance to advance in the playoffs, he may need to sit out as the commissioner in this one because it's kind of a big deal. The Angels aren't exactly in the postseason a ton. I think maybe you should take the commissioner hat off. Don't give it to Tommy Pham. Don't give it to Jock Peterson. Give it to somebody else.
If you started a league, Mike, you keep that commissioner hat on and you don't take it off.
So what was the situation again? Jock had Austin Eckler. And
No. I'm just saying that in general. I lost a game.
But he had a running back who was
okay. I don't know the story.
And he placed him on IR. He placed him on IR and then picked up another running back, kept that running back on IR. And I think that was what the
beef was over. Yeah. But apparently there was a miscommunication or something with the commissioner. All I'm saying is, Angels, you need all hands on deck for this one. You need all hands on deck, especially Mike Trout, who is your guardian angel.
I wonder
even though Shohei's a freak, we know
who's all in
that
league.
Yeah, we need names.
I want to know
a list.
who's all in that league. That sounds like an elite fantasy. Let your boy in there.
I wonder how much the pot is you win in that league. That's what I want to see. Give me the names and give me the numbers. That's what I want to see.
That's the private poker.
That's exactly right.
Man, our boy Ryan Fitzpatrick retired.
Fitty.
Was he the most reliable journeyman quarterback there was?
Are you talking about Baker Mayfield's clone? They're going to have the same career. It's going to go the same way.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
You think Baker's going to do what?
Baker's going to be in a journeyman like Fitz. Baker will end up being a journeyman like Fitz, and within 5 years, he'll be an OC at a college institution. I'm just telling you. I said it months ago. I'll keep saying it. Baker Mayfield will be a college football OC within the next 5 years. Just remember I said it. But Fitzy, they call it Fitz magic for a reason. He'd come in. Was he always the star? No. Was he really ever the star? No. But he'd have some really good games and big moments, but he'd also kind of Post Malone and fall apart every now and then. But that's why you're a journeyman quarterback. That's how it works.
17 seasons. So I don't see Baker going 17 seasons.
No. I'm talking about his role. You need to be the starting quarterback for the struggling team as we transition in between teams. That's what
Baker
Fitzy
can accept that sort of role? 9 different teams like that?
Not 9, but I think he's the guy that's going to be
every year.
He's going to be passed around the hookah.
All right. You guys want to give me your thoughts on this Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation here?
Oh, a little
Johnny Depp getting $13 million yesterday. Blaine, what do you think about that?
Good for Johnny, he deserved it. I saw this on Twitter. Someone say that's the day that Amber Heard almost caught Jack Sparrow.
That's the day she almost caught him.
I really think Amber Heard's lawyers really crapped the bed on this case, to be honest. I really do think that. Good for Johnny. You could tell from the beginning. Don't come at our boy like that. Don't come at my boy like that.
Look, it's pretty obvious once you heard her talk that she was full of it. I mean, anybody that followed the bouncing balls could tell that she was full of it. And, it's nice to see that just because you accuse somebody of something doesn't make it church, which is kind of the trap we had fallen in before some of it started turning around. So, look, Amber Heard, she's 13 flavors of nuts. You don't have to be a psychologist to figure that out. The jury listened to her probably for about 30 minutes total and like, yeah, this lady's absolutely crazy. And you know what? She gets what she deserves. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's the way our justice system works. Sometimes people are guilty, sometimes people aren't. Amber Heard just seems like a terrible person. I'm sorry.
Will Hollywood make a film out of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, and will Johnny Depp and Amber Heard play themselves?
Well,
that's what I want to know.
You know,
I would love to see it.
Or was the reality TV situation enough for everybody?
This is just, again, I watched a little bit of it. It was the talk of the town. But when I watched it, Johnny Depp and his lawyers, and even her lawyers at some point, were laughing with each other at how stupid some of the stuff is. I didn't punch you, but I hit you. Yeah.
I think it was like all the stuff about Elon Musk that was coming out. Elon's that guy.
Elon is that guy.
Elon is that. I can't say it on the show, but Elon is that man.
He is.
Elon is that guy. And it's not only building rockets.
No. Billionaire with a
He's
B.
doing like, he's living life.
If you're the richest guy in the world, you're thinking like, man, how did I get involved in this situation?
I'm like, I made a mistake.
You're the richest guy in the world. Does anything really excite you anymore?
I think so.
Yeah.
Anything really exciting? It looks like maybe like a new invention.
Look,
we just
that's why you set long-term goals. He says he wants to die on Mars. He said
that's
he
what I'm
wants to
saying.
die
Like,
on Mars.
he's running out of
That's
stuff
a
to
goal
do.
not accomplished.
You get so rich, you run out of stuff to do.
Well, like you said one thing before we move on. It does scare me when all the richest people are trying to leave the planet.
Yeah.
It's not good.
What are you not telling us?
Yeah.
What's underneath us? I know it's probably not. It's probably under there. That's the trick. That's the trick.
Last one, Marion Barber, the third pass.
Man.
Yeah, tough news. Great running back.
Great running back, was part of, kind of that two-headed monster at Minnesota too. Had the greatest 2-yard run of all time ever, if you remember them against the Patriots. I mean, they basically had him tackled about 16 different times, and he was able to wiggle out of it. Man, we see him, Gladney as well, losing him at 25. You look at Haskins, losing him. It just seems like we've lost a lot of, young, not only, players, but former players as well. So you hate to see that. Condolences to his family as well, and he was a hell of a player, physical runner.
One of the best 5-yard runs or 2-yard runs I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I just said. But what else we got, Booster Club?
Steve the Pirate.
Steve the Pirate saying.
Said Amber Heard and the Dodgers both get dominated by the Pirates.
That's a good one. That's a good one. What else?
That's good. That's solid.
That is. That's quality.
T-Pro83 says, R.I.P. Marion Barber, and I'm a Cowboys fan, and that guy was awesome to watch. So,
Yeah.
He was.
You hate to see it.
But I mean, do we transition to greatest ever right
Greatest
now? I'm
ever?
excited about this.
Tell people about it.
Okay, so we do the greatest ever every Thursday. Right now, we are going to do the greatest ever single game postseason performance
There it is.
of all time. And I want to go last because nobody's going to guess.
Okay, Blaine, you up?
You want to go first?
You want me to
Blaine?
go first?
You go first.
I want to make sure I get this name right.
Oh, here we go.
Let me make sure I get this name
Don
right.
Larson.
Ted Johnson.
Don Larson, all right? In 56 for the Yankees.
It's a great year.
Right when they invented hot dogs. Right when they came out. They're in the ballpark getting passed around. Don Larson. World Series the game before, threw a couple innings, gave up 4 runs. Wasn't feeling good about a lot of things. Came home, his wife was making fun of him. His kids were making fun of him. Know what he did the next game out? Perfect game.
Yeah. Well,
27 up, 27 down. All right?
embarrassment's a real thing.
Go get a beer, Doc.
Yeah, embarrassment's a real thing. I like that one. Ken, what do you got?
Look, the greatest single game postseason performance of all time was Elgin Baylor in Game 5 of the 1962 NBA Finals for the Lakers against the Celtics. Series tied at 2 apiece. He went off for 61 points and 22 rebounds.
It's a good
61 and 22. Now, I know a lot of people say Michael Jordan against the Celtics put up 63, but that was in a losing effort. And to me, if it's going to be the greatest single game postseason performance, you have to win. They won this game. He did lose the series, but 61 and 22. We'll never see another thing like it in the finals.
All right, guys. I'm going to take you back. Let's hop in the time machine.
Past 1962?
We're going all the way back to 1943.
No.
Hot 43, whatever they say. In the middle of World War II, which doesn't count for national championships in football, by the way. Remember, I did say that. But this is different. Sid Luckman, 1940. Good old Sid Luckman. We all know Sid Luckman.
Sid Luckman.
Also worked part-time as the mailman. 15 of 26 passing. 286 yards and 5 touchdowns in 1943. That's basically NASA numbers right there. All right, he had 135.6 passer rating, which tripled the league average, which wasn't exactly on fire.
Rating back?
At 48.6 was the league average. So if you caught a swing pass, you're probably making the Pro Bowl. He also had 8 rushes for 64 yards, returned 2 punts for 32 yards, punted 3 times for a 40-yard average, and intercepted 2 passes with 39 return yards. The man was the whole team.
Sid Luckman.
Sid Luckman. Definitely doesn't suck, man. Like Bill Gluckman of Malibu's Most Wanted.
Elgin Baylor.
There's so many good ones. Part of me thought that David Wells threw his perfect game during the World Series for the Yankees, but he didn't. It was after he was hung over. That's what the crazy thing was about it. I got to tell you the story real quick because I looked up. This is nuts. If you didn't know, David Wells pitched for the Yankees. He wasn't exactly built like Body by Jake or any of these guys. He's not going to be in the front of GQ, all right? He goes out to Saturday Night Live. He's pitching on a Sunday. Goes to Saturday Night Live that night. I think his son's in town. They just want to hang out, have a good time, not get drunk or anything, go back. So they end up hanging out, getting invited to an after party with Jimmy Fallon and all these people. He ends up rolling in at like 5:30.
And he knew he was on the mound.
He knows he's on the mound. He rolls in at 5:30 the next morning, gets like 2 hours of sleep, goes to the park. All his teammates are like, dude, you got to go. Like, you smell like alcohol. You've got to go get it off of you. He's like, I feel terrible. I'm throwing up. My stomach hurts, whatever. Just typical bad hangover. He goes to throw a bullpen, didn't throw a strike the whole bullpen. His bullpen was so bad, the pitching coach was like, hey, man, are you good? And he was like, just leave me alone. He goes out there for the first 4 innings. He's just trying to get through it. Doesn't give up a hit, no walk, goes in the dugout, walks in the clubhouse a little bit, like towards the clubhouse, can hear somebody saying, hey, Boomer Wells is throwing a perfect game right now. So he runs out of there because he's superstitious. Going into the 7th inning, nobody will sit by him. Tino Martinez, he'll walk in the dugout, they'll just walk away from him. Oh boy, he said by the 6th inning, he started feeling good again. Like you catch that second win,
sir.
Like your body hit that reset button, and like it's almost like a Keurig when you have to refill the water. Now it's just like hit brew. I'm ready, hit brew. That was a perfect game. Him and his boys go out to Dorian's and just tear it up till like 4:30. Great story.
Wow.
You throw a perfect game while you're hungover. He's like, when I showed up at the park, I was still drunk.
I think he probably hit a little hair of the dog.
Maybe
hair
you
of the
throw a
dog
little bit better when you're
inning.
buzzed on the mound.
Look, I think
know.
you're
That's
trying to get
crazy,
through it.
though. That's
trying
crazy.
to get through it. Can you imagine that?
But that
back
was
in
it.
the
Was
day?
that? So that was a regular season game.
That was a regular season game. Can
Wow.
you think, though, back in the day, like earlier in baseball, how many of the professionals were legitimately drunk out there playing? Not like it was now. You don't have ESPN cameras all around. You're not mic'd up in the dugout. You know how many, flasks were hitting the dugout? Maybe calm the nerves or
Swinging that bat a little bit harder.
Swinging it a little bit harder,
Meanwhile-
taking a few more chances.
Meanwhile, I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. Got the CPAP on.
That's
trying to
exactly
just throw some
right.
strikes. Can we just get through 6 tomorrow?
Please, just don't send me down to AAA. But no, good stuff.
Hey, Clemens had a good one too. I think Yankees.
Yep.
ALCS had like 15 Ks, one
Shoving.
hitter or something.
Roger
2000.
was shoved.
There's a reason they called him the Rocket.
Yeah, Roger was absolute
Bam, you're out.
Yeah. What else we got from the BC?
Tempo says David Wells is the William Taft of the MLB.
That is a great comparison. I like that very much, and I may actually use that.
You can't take that.
Oh, I'm taking it.
We had a
Tempo, let me take
Baltimore 2001. The greatest moments.
Okay.
Haunted Hunter said LeBron Game 4 against the Mavs was the best performance I've ever seen.
Well, we can't remember Charles Barkley had a 40-point triple-double, too, in the postseason. I know he never won a championship. He went for like 43, 15, and 10 one night. Just
Was
absolutely lost
David
his
Wells
mind.
fat?
Yes.
I
He
don't know what that
wasn't.
is.
He wasn't not fat.
No. He was big bone.
You know what I mean?
he
you know
was
what I mean?
exuberant.
Little chunky monkey?
A little bit.
Our T-Pro83 says, are Olympics considered postseason for track?
Oh, that's a really good
no.
question.
No.
We'd have to get on the
That's
no.
a really good question. Well, we're going to have a head-to-head debating whether esports is a sport or not. So I hope everybody in the world is
I'll
ready
just
for
keep
that.
my mouth shut because I don't know yet if I'm judging or if I'm debating.
I just
or
want to
what the
see
deal
you in the
is.
judge's outfit.
Okay, well, just
I think you'd be hilarious with
Put me to work.
Jack Doe 1196 says, what about the Mile High Miracle?
Okay. Again, there's so many great, and you can talk about moments or plays, but we're talking about like performances, like stats, what you did in that moment combined.
I mean, if you want to have an honest conversation about it, we can talk about the time that Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl because that is the postseason.
That
you want to talk about performances, throw that in there.
62. Angelo G says, I'm 6 outs away from being 2-0. I don't know what to do with myself.
Well, don't jinx yourself.
Don't
put
blow it.
stuff like that in
Don't
the
blow
chat. You'd never
Don't
do
mouth
that.
it. Don't
Or
mouth
race
You're
it.
definitely going to hit.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hit now.
You're gonna
6 more outs? Only 6 more outs?
Probably
Oh,
already
you're
hit.
Nothing could go catastrophically or disastrously wrong at this point.
It's in the bag.
But speaking about catastrophic and disastrously wrong, I'm not going to a place that has that stuff. I'm going to the board of community friendship.
Well, be careful because my picks are up there, and
Listen,
those are going catastrophically.
it's day 1 in June.
It is day 1.
It's day 1
It's
in
day
June.
2 now, though.
The board of friendship, life, loss, love, Levin, and that one thing you found in between the couch cushions that you're not going to tell your parents about. All right. Yesterday.
What do you find in the couch cushions that you're not going to tell the parents about?
Yesterday. Ended up going 2-0. Who cares? It's
You're
day
going to
1.
win the month.
Yeah, you're
Who
running
cares?
away with it, kid.
Got
Who
it,
cares?
buddy. Call
It's
it.
day 1.
Call
Nobody
it. It's
cares.
over.
Why are you
Nobody
running
cares.
away with it?
I'm
man?
definitely going to finish last
It's
this
over.
month. All right. I do want to take this time, though, to thank the Rangers
Look
for making
good.
it easy on me.
Look good.
You know, you gave up a goal early. You gave up a goal early. They answered. You scored again. They answered again. But you answered again. All right. It's
A lot
like a
of
game of
answers in
telephone.
that
A lot. Of,
game.
who's calling? Who's answering? The Rangers are. That's who.
Yeah.
Still like the Lightning in the series, but thank you, Zabaterjan, Panarin, all you guys. Igor shutting him down after the second goal. Much love, man. May go with you all tomorrow. I don't know. A lot of emotions. Today, I know the Avs are without Darcy, right? The Avs are without Darcy Kemper? Not playing tonight.
that's
That's what
the
you told me
word.
earlier.
Big facts. The Avs are out. Kemper is out of goal for game 2.
Big
so
facts.
Someone's going to be in the goals.
Okay, well, it's
game.
Francois.
Not in it. Yeah, it's
Someone's
Francois.
gonna play goalie.
Yeah.
Francouz.
Okay, we'll look at it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I've watched backup goalies come in and ball. I've watched them ball. So I'm going to stick with it. I picked the Avs minus 1.5 this morning because I'm feeling good about it. I'm going to stay with it. So give me the Avs minus 1.5. That's going off at plus 123. Plus 123. Then I said I would never bet NBA, but I almost feel like I have to because we do a sports show
too.
and it's the NBA
Yeah.
Finals. Other than that, I wouldn't do it. But give me Draymond Green, assists, rebounds, and points over 21.5. Draymond, when I bet you to get a triple-double or a double-double, you gave me 17 points and 9 assists. Halfway through the third quarter, we weren't able to get
He
it.
did do that.
I won't bet on you to get a double-double, but I just need you to get 10 of each. Just a triple-double. That's it. Not a double-double. Just give me a triple-double. Just over 21.5 points, assists, and rebounds. That's all I ask. Pretty simple. Cone, your thoughts, theories,
I really
observations.
thought the Lightning Rangers under last night was a lock. Blaine.
A lot of people
I really
did.
thought we were going to bet Buds that thing. 1-1 in the first. I come back in the second. It's 4-2. But what's going on here? I didn't really understand what I was watching. Lightning gave up more goals last night than they did all last series.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, but now that I've gotten that off my chest, I know that I made a promise I wasn't going to make any more NBA picks. But it's game 1 of the finals, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Game 1 of the finals. We have to take one. Steph, first quarter, 2 or more three-pointers made, going at plus 220.
Take
All right, I'm taking 2 dog picks.
First
Figure,
quarter.
If I'm going to miss my picks, I might as well go dog picks. So that plus Avs, Oilers, first period, both teams score at plus 110.
I like that.
They may
love
both
that.
score more
I
than
like
one.
that.
So I also had the under yesterday.
And you're the best.
What I saw, I don't think it's fixable on either side.
Oh, it's
They're
not-
Really?
gonna score. They're gonna score. Both these teams are gonna score. There's no way. I'm surprised the Avs didn't score more. They missed some opportunities, especially early.
Wait, you talking about Avs now, or are you talking about last night's game?
So
I'm
my
talking about,
Oh, okay.
Avs, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Lightning, I don't see that. There's no way that keeps happening.
No.
Okay.
There's no way.
I'm not worried about the light.
There's no
But
way.
Avalanche, Oilers.
Avalanche, Oilers, they're gonna score. There's no way.
Okay.
All right. So this is what I'm taking. I got 3 bets today.
Yep, because
Yankees got postponed yesterday, and I saw it says delayed, right? Then when I saw it, I let it sit for a little bit because it's not fully postponed yet. So I don't know if I need to take another bet. And by the time I had to take another bet, nothing was realistically there to bet. So that's what I'm taking. I'm loving the over in this game. I'm taking the Oilers over 3 goals, minus 130. I'm taking the Avs over 3.5 goals, minus 152. Barstool Sportsbook hooked me up. I got the 6.5. Give me the over at minus 200.
Wow, it came down to the cap, huh? He was at minus 203 earlier. 3 bets, big day for you. Baby Cone, 1-0 to start the month. I'm shocked.
We start giving Baby
I'm
Cone
shocked.
2 bets.
We may have to start giving him 2 bets. Either that or we got to go Baby Cone gets a bet
Stop.
and replacement Cone gets a bet.
I don't know if I think Baby Cone 2 bets and Replacement Cone gets a bet every now and then when we feel like it.
Wait, so your first bet is a combo bet? Is that
No. His first bet.
Oh, you have 3 because of the. So you have 3. I got it.
Yankees got postponed.
So Baby Cone is going Connor McDavid over 3.5 shots, going off at -150. That is such a good bet.
Yeah.
That is a really, really good bet.
He knows what he's doing.
That is.
He knows what he's
All right, I'm going to read the Booster Club bets, then we're going to get some Booster Club questions as we wind this thing down. All right, Private Chonky, 5-0. Warriors money line, -165. B Moore, CFB is 1-0. Blue Jays money line, -190. Williams DG is 4-0. He's halfway to the Hall of Fame. That's 8-0. He wants the Yankees money line, game 1. Formula 1. Dinkin Flicka, 27. It's 2-0. Wants the Tigers +1.5. That's -150. The Red Aaron's 2-0. Wants Rockies Braves under 12.5 runs. Sammy V is 2-0. Game 1 of Angels and Yankees first inning under a half run, going off at -155. Bisaccio is 2-0. Oilers over 33.5 shots on goal. I like that bet at -112. Sincerely FC 1-0, wants the Angels +1.5. That's -200. Life 00022, new to the Booster Club. What's up, my friend? Mets money line +145. And then Shamgar's Ox Code is 0-8. Is entering Wall of Shame territory. Wants the Warriors Celtics over 212.5. So I'd probably take the under.
I almost took that.
But that's just me. You never know. Shamgar, who's a witch with the GIFs and pictures in the Photoshop.
He's going to hit. Today's the day.
Yeah. You think it's today's today?
I don't
think you're wrong. God, I like the
know.
over. I may make a personal on that one. Not a show, but a personal.
Really? You might get personal about it?
Yeah, I might get super personal about it. Speaking about getting super personal, how personal is the Booster Club about things right now?
It always stays personal in here.
Good. Well, personally, I like that.
They're not hating the replacement cone bet.
They like the replacement cone bet idea?
No, they're saying sooner or later he's going to get one, whether we like it or not.
He's going to get one, or he's going to get one of us. We all know who it is. It's the guy sitting in this chair to my left. Scouring the globe over there.
I am.
Figure it out.
Did you put out a poll earlier?
Ooh.
I did.
Yeah.
I messed it up.
What
I kept it up.
How did you mess it up?
Who will win the Finals MVP?
Okay, how'd you mess it up?
I didn't put the third option.
What 2 options did you put?
Steph Curry and Jason Tatum.
Okay.
So
I don't think we could put it other. I
wanted to put the other.
Yeah, you just.
But I didn't put the other option.
Yeah.
So that's why I messed it up. So
I'm gonna need your playbook.
That's fine. I'll bring it to you. Actually,
Bring your playbook.
I'm gonna need your playbook.
Hey, bring your playbook.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. I understand.
Yeah. At least he understands.
Who y'all got? Steph Curry, Jason Tatum.
I got Jaylen Brown.
If you had to pick between the two.
Jason Tatum, because I have the Celtics winning.
So I'll pick Steph. And
At what?
No, I don't need
It's going to
to
be
say
Steph Curry at like 70%.
I want you to get the percents right, though.
It's going to be Steph at like 70%.
Okay, 69.
It's your favorite number.
Steph Curry, 56%.
Little lower than I thought.
Jason Tatum, 44%.
And other had no percent because Blaine didn't put it out there. But I'm telling you guys, Jaylen Brown at +1,200 on +1,200
Not a bad bet.
Just trust me on that.
What is Steph's odds? That's what I bet to ask you.
He's
like -120, wasn't it? Something like that?
It's something good.
It's up there.
Hey, Jordan Poole +3,000? Can we talk about it?
+3,000. So I want to almost pick who could just sneak around. Like, what's Al Horford at?
Al Horford could.
What's Al Horford?
I don't know. I kept looking for some reason, like I had all the names pulled up, and my eyes kept going.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up.
Well,
I'm gonna pull it up.
I mean, that's where the Celtics can
I have it right here.
win, right? Is in the front court.
That's where they're gonna have to.
Al Horford.
On this one, I have Jaylen Brown +1,000.
Okay.
Klay Thompson +1,500. Draymond Green +1,800. Jordan Poole +3,000.
Keep going.
Andrew Wiggins +3,500. And Marcus Smart +3,500.
Go even lower? Do they have any more?
I'm trying to find.
I like Horford more than Marcus.
Jason Tatum is +180. Steph is +100.
Steph's +100?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder what Al Horford is. That's what I want to see. Because Al could sneak around. He could pull an Iguodala. Al could pull an Iguodala.
Al would have to ball.
He showed flashes, like I told you. He's either found the fountain of youth or he spent the offseason at Hogwarts training, taking some polyjuice potion or whatever changes your face.
I still think Klay would be a good bet.
Like Klay?
We'll see. Well, we're going to kick it off tonight. Again, remember, make sure you're subscribed on all platforms. We got Ben Shapiro coming on again Saturday for part 2. You do not want to miss that interview. We appreciate it. If you just found out about us because of Ben coming on, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. We appreciate you guys. And, y'all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for it?
Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
And like Jaylen Brown's chances of not winning the Finals MVP. We're going.